Welcome back, everyone, to G2 versus Astralis, the last game of the day. Now, Carlos sent me this tweet a couple of days ago saying, Shocks, I want you to do a monologue for G2. You can be the reason for our comeback. You down? I'm down, but be careful what you wish for, young sir. Here we go. It all starts with going 0-4. And going 0-4 is all about sucking ass. Being 0-4 is all about falling to your demons. Being 0-4 is all about getting knocked down time after time and not getting back up. Nobody embodies that more than G2 Esports. G2 has dominated Europe for many, many years, but this year, things aren't working out as they once did. You know who also went 0-4 in the past, Carlos? Schalke 04, and they sold their team. Maybe worth considering? With peace and love, of course. Now, of course, until 2021, it was all rainbows and sunshine, winning back-to-back-to-back-to-back LEC splits, MVPs for caps aplenty, and G2 conquering the international stage as much as they did Europe, winning MSI and making it to the semifinals and the finals of Worlds. But at the highest level, as we all know, it was a tragedy. G2 was a mere afterthought for FPX and Damwon, a shameful display, and what was worse, it felt like a lost opportunity that may never come again. And now we're here. 2021 summer. After the biggest roster change in EU history this year, G2 did not even win Spring. The one thing we could always count on did not happen. They were trampled by Rogue and Mad. And it all comes down to this next game. Demons can be slayed, expectations be damned, and Rekkles and G2 can cement themselves as the biggest flop of summer. Something they have always tried to prove. In this next game, it's all up to G2 to realize their dreams of going 0-5.
Wow, that's the first reverse caster curse on the LEC.
I forgot to walk.
Oh, she forgot to walk. Wow, it was flawless. Shocks. It was...
Is it going to work is the question.
I can't believe Carlos asked for that. That was merciless. Like, that was beyond brutal.
But losing streak, monologue, bad monologue, counter logic, winning streak. It's just science.
CG2 fans, she was doing you a favor. It wasn't a relentless stream of insults and personal attacks. It was supporting G2. Wow.
But in all seriousness, this is a big game for G2.
It is, absolutely. Both of these teams currently tied at 4 and 5 at the start of the day. They were in a 4-way tie for 5th, and we are now getting into Champs Select for a very big game for both of these organizations, Caedrel. As much fun as it is to meme G2, dropping a game here to Astralis is massive. And thank you for bringing us back on track, because for Astralis, winning against G2 is also a pretty big deal.
Yeah, if Astralis beat G2, the playoffs race, all of a sudden, can G2 make it, you know? Like, they're gonna let's say they lose this game, you know, tomorrow they go up against Rogue. Let's say, for argument's sake, they lose that game as well. Then they're at 4 and 7, and they only have 7 games left, and they need 9 wins. It's gonna be hard, but I think the biggest news of the day is Caps' new haircut.
Certainly is. There's many speculations. Is he emulating his idol Saitama? Has he unlocked the avatar state? Has he unlocked telekinetic powers with the Professor X cosplay? Or has he become Megamind minus the blue? We will keep you posted on what the theories are, but we are now into picks and bans. I like it. I respect it.
I like it.
You need to change. You need to mix things up. That's what you got to do. And speaking of mixing things up,
Maybe he's unleashed now.
he might be the hair holding him back like a training weight
On his head.
All right, we're going to let that go. We got it out of our system. Now we're going to be professional casters. Band's looking pretty standard. Nocturne, Lucian, LeBlanc. Opposite side is Xin Zhao, Akali, and Thresh.
Looking at Lee Sin here, perhaps for WhiteKnight, Gwen, Viego. These are the strongest champions right now, and they do opt for the Viego. So triple flex in a sense can go mid. We haven't seen it too much, but more towards jungle and top is where you'd expect it. And now normally you see kind of first rotations of solo laners. You know, you might see something like, you know, a Lucian or an AD carry, and then jungle on 3. Lee Sin's up. Gwen is up. Varus still decently high prio. I think he got like, slightly hit with the Tam Kench nerfs because Varus Tam can't really be a lane phase anymore. But regardless, there it is. 80 jungle. It's going to be Varus Lee Sin and instantly matched by the Diana that we were just talking about.
And I like the Lee Sin immediately because WhiteKnight's most successful champion in the top lane has been the Lee Sin. That said, we now have all of the top side instantly instantly
like
locked in for Astralis. Now G2, depending on what they pick here, they can ban out some bot lane options, but Astralis have the one up heading into the second ban phase when it comes to these solo lanes.
Yeah, G2 have a lot of options here. You could go something like the Gwen, perhaps, to match Renekton in the top where you'd expect it to go, but both Renekton and Viego can swap around the lanes. So G2 picking a flexible solo laner here would help them out a lot. Mundo can work as well. Just kind of any solo laner here helps. I mean, picking support doesn't give you that much value. You could pick things like Leona and ban out too, but then you're kind of sacrificing your solo laners, which is not what you want to do. Caps obviously has the confidence to go 4-5, expect him to be perhaps banned out, and now G2 can start to target the bot lane of Astralis.
And one of the big downsides, of course, of locking in all of your solo lanes immediately is you've removed the flex picks. Mundo, normally against top lane Viego, wouldn't feel great about that matchup once he has a Divine Sunder under his belt. However, against Renekton, if anybody can weather the storm, you'd expect it to be that Mundo. That said, Kalista now taking away some of the bot lane AD carries who can contest the priority the Varus normally guarantees. Taken off the menu, taken off the board. I like to see the Braum dropped out as well, as it's a champion who does very well into a lot of these melee divers.
Yeah, now you're looking at things like Leona and Nautilus as the contested supports. I think both teams want to opt into those. And for AD carries, you know, Ezreal got hit a bit. He's open. Kai'Sa, Jinx, you know, a lot of AD carries open. We'll see if G2 keep targeting bot lane. They could go for another AD carry ban here. Kai'Sa would make a lot of sense with the amount of dive that Astralis have. And obviously she does percent HP damage, so that might hurt the Mundo a bit, but no, they're going to take the Nautilus. So that spells to me that they probably want a Leona or Rel on 4, and then counterpick. Maybe they can even counterpick support, you know. They could just go for 5 pick on support, pick their mid laner on 4. Gives them a little bit more value in the draft, but there's a Leona ban.
Leona ban 2, obviously Leona Varus very impressive bot lane. I like the Nautilus has been taken off the board, some of the options. Gwen coming in.
And the last time we saw caps on Gwen was against Vitality, against Leader's Rise, and he was struggling a little bit in the lane phase.
Well, and that was a monster performance from Leader, if I remember correctly. So we need to see a little bit more here. Now, G2 solo laners have been a topic of discussion. All of G2 really has been, but we'll just see what level of performance they bring to the table today. Tristana lock in here, I like it, safe, reliable.
Yeah, Tristana Kai'Sa kind of fits your comp really well. You know, Diana, Renekton, and Viego all diving in. I think a support to match that would make a lot of sense. The ones open now is Alistar. Yeah, Taric could work as well. Obviously, Alistar could be slightly difficult blind pick if they go for a range support. Taric also makes a lot of sense with the dive. And G2, we'll see what they counterpick the Taric with. The last time we saw them counterpick a Taric, it was a Pantheon. I don't think we're going to see a Pantheon this time around. I could be wrong, but there's no globals to work with, so it wouldn't make much sense. I think something like a Karma could work really well to win out in the lane phase and have the push. But then again, having the Alistar for the engage could also be great, so it's a difficult one to choose from.
Poppy would be an interesting one. Gragas as well, something to stop the Taric ultimate from being too effective in fights. I'm just thinking about ways you can mitigate the potential impact of the...
We might get a Poppy support, you know. There's a lot of dashes on Astralis. Viego has a dash with W. Diana obviously has a dash. Tristana, Renekton. There's a lot of dashes. G2 making a little bit of noise there. They seem happy and confident about this pick, but Varus Poppy, not a lane I've actually seen that much. We'll see how it works out. I think Tristana Taric should win out in that lane and they should have the push, but the Poppy makes a lot of sense for the team fights when you have so many melee champions, you know. Mundo, Lee Sin, Gwen, Renekton, Taric, Diana, Viego, all melee champions. Poppy should do well into stopping them getting in the fights, but then again, Taric ult.
And the thing, again, Taric ult, the thing that I like is naturally when Taric starts to channel his ult, Poppy can channel hers in response, and if she doesn't get CC'd, she can knock Taric, knock some of the members out of the fight. I like some of the interactions. Now, of course, that's just theory crafting. That's on paper. We're going to have to see what G2 can do to execute with this pick.
Yeah, and if you look at both comps, you know, you've got double AP solo laners in a sense for G2 with an AD jungle, vice versa on the other side for Astralis. We've got an AP jungle, double AD solo laners. A lot of melee champs, a lot of fighting to be expected in these early stages of the game. I don't know who to give the priority to because I think MagiFelix is going to be playing Renekton mid and WhiteKnight will be playing the Viego top. So we'll see how those lane matchups play out, but Diana, Renekton, infamous, you know. Renekton with an AP jungler, infamous early game strength in terms of mid, top, or jungle.
And often Renekton's early power can offset some of the time that Diana would normally want to scale up to get a few more items under her belt, allow her to play more aggressive. But again, have to see what both these teams are going to bring to the table this week. It has not been a story of consistency for either side. Astralis often falling behind in the early game. G2 often looking lost in a lot of these exchanges. The game last week against Misfits, up till the final moments, however, was clean, was incredibly G2 favored. Need to see that same form from G2 today if they want to find a win, if they want to break this losing streak, as we are getting into our final match of the day, Astralis versus G2.
Caps going for Ignite TP.
It's
Could be
bold.
risky. Could be risky, but they have a very powerful mid jungle. I think Diana Renekton is obviously very strong, but I think in the early stages, it's hard to say who's going to win out because you have the Ignite advantage. Lee Sin wins against Diana level 3, I believe, with red buff as a Lee Sin connoisseur that I am. So it's a very, very bloody mid jungle.
I think you can call yourself a Lee Sin expert, my friend.
Oh, can I?
There's not a lot of tiers higher. If you were on the Korean solo queue ladder or the Ionian shard
You've
ladder,
blessed me with the wizard's hat, or like the Legion hat.
yeah, you can be you're the most qualified Western expert I know of. Maybe Jankos or Zanzarah would have something otherwise to say, but something we'll track, of course. Keeping our eyes on the jungle, keeping our eyes on the Poppy pick as well.
And Zanzarah starting on red buff, so he's going to be pathing bot to top, whereas Jankos is going to be pathing top to bot. I mean, Wunder, it's hard to play around him in the early stages. Viego's probably going to win out on that. The 2v2 looks pretty difficult, so he wants to make sure he's around bot side. Makes sense for G2, in a sense, just the way they play the game. They like to pincer through mid and have Mikyx out of lane. We'll see if that's what they achieve.
And have to see how explosive the G2 early game can be. Astralis, while they are 4-5, they're a bit of an oddity because their early game, despite those wins, remains pretty atrocious. Often needing to come back, often finding big team fights. And credit to them for being able to come back from these kind of deficits, but obviously not a situation they want to keep putting themselves in.
Yeah, and even if you think of the Vitality game where they managed to win in like 24 minutes, 23 minutes, MagiFelix lost his mid tower and his tier 2 tower in around 10 to 11 minutes and got solo killed. So Vitality were really winning out in the early stages just through mid alone. But Astralis managed to find a couple fights around the blue buff area, I remember. But Jankos, hang on here. He's done red Raptors into Zanzarah's Raptors. Doesn't have the Q, I believe. He has WE. Caps has the mid push. There's the strength of the mid jungle in the early stages. Jankos already going for an early fight. Very interesting pathing. I've never seen that on a Lee Sin. WE goes red to Raptors into enemy Raptors. I think he knew Zanzarah started red and went to Krugs, and he knew he could be there in time to contest him and take them away.
And I like the immediate use of lane priority. And of course, Renekton, very strong, very oppressive champion usually, but Gwen level 1 starting the E, one of the most oppressive laning champions in the game in a melee matchup. So Caps using it to good effect to get that lane priority, to put himself in a position where Jankos can take away some camps. Across the rest of the map, though, it's relatively quiet. Viego, as you said, Caedrel is getting pushed in on the top lane. WhiteKnight doing well so far. And on the bottom side, Tristana, I won't say as expected, but is, in general, using the explosive shot to push in.
Yeah, and it makes sense, especially with the support matchup. Caps getting traded upon, has the TP and should be able to collect the wave, has the potion too, but you're completely right. I think Tristana obviously has the innate push from her kit, from the E passive, and then the Taric against Poppy, I think, obviously wins out in the early stages. I think the Poppy's just there to negate the jump away from Jeskla in all-ins, or the jump in all-ins. But anyway, both junglers going to trade away crabs. Jankos slightly up a camp because he took away Raptors, but then again, he didn't take his Krugs, and that's exactly what Zanzarah is pinging. He knows because he went red Raptors to the enemy Raptors. He knows that his Krugs were up, so he lost his Raptors, but he's going to take back the Krugs. So smart play from Jankos in the early stages. Doesn't really net him a huge lead, but forcing that mid jungle in the early stages is always a good thing.
Certainly is, and of course Zanzarah, good on him to respond, to recognize top lane has priority, to leverage the advantage that he has there. And you can see, while the early lane matchup was very favorable for Caps, MagiFelix is a little bit more comfortable now that he has levels under his belt, but the teleport allowing Caps to be at least ahead in the buy for now with the Ruby Crystal.
Zanzarah is moving towards the top side. G2 knew that he was on their Krugs. Wunder looks like he's fine here. He can't get stunned up, has the passive, and they only have one form of CC.
Yeah. Passive, of course. You could try to proc it. Would just pick it up again. Grasp already up and available too. And WhiteKnight naturally winning because of the percentage health damage.
Hang on, look at this. You can see Jankos path towards the bot side. G2 crashed a big wave. We got a glimpse of it, sorry. And now look at what Mikyx's doing. He's moving down up towards the top side. Level 3 Poppy. He's moving towards mid, and I think that's maybe where he's looking towards. Caps has a big wave stacking up. Maybe he's just going to help him try and crash it. But very interesting pathing. He knows Rekkles should be safe on the next wave. Caps trading aggressively. We could see a play here for Mikyx. Maybe he wants to flash over the wall and look for some kind of E or some kind of dive.
Revealing that someone is on the top side by proccing the blast cone. Seeing that there's not a lot of vision here. Dive on the Renekton might be a little bit difficult, but it looks like Mikyx and Jankos are ready to commit for it anyway. Or potentially ready to go for the invade.
Big wave.
Level 5. They can try to aggro here. Flash forward. It's clean for Mikyx, but he cannot find the wall. Dash over the wall from Caps. Looking for the snip, but he doesn't have any autos on the setup. Jankos going in, trying to finish the kill. Jankos getting first blood, gets taken down in response. No more W left for the Poppy. It's disaster for G2. Caps getting caught out. Can he turn it back? Caps gets a kill back, and that's a good sign for G2, but a 2 for 2 in the end.
Yeah, 2 for 2, but Astralis read the play very well. They were pinging on bot wave, and they knew that Mikyx wasn't there. He wasn't showing for like 20-30 seconds on his bot wave alongside Rekkles, so the bot lane of Astralis, when they got their base timer, they just ran mid straight away. They knew something was up. There was a huge wave under his tower. MagiFelix. Mikyx just about missed the stun on the wall. There might be a fight in bot though. Trying to zone him away and contest his ping because Astralis bot lane will have to catch the wave.
Take a look back at this one. You can see the setup.
So look at the pings in bot wave. See that? They just pinged on bot wave, and that's why the bot lane of Astralis moves towards mid. They know something's actually happening. Mikyx kind of flaws the play in a sense, didn't have the correct angle on the stun. But anyway, they commit to it. Jankos, really good Q. Hits MagiFelix's flash.Jeskla's there to respond. 2 for 2 in the end.
Yeah, ultimately, the fact that it's a 2 for 2 could cost G2 all the resources. Ooh, man, there's a lot of juice. G2, of course, both kills going over to Tristana on the opposite side for Jeskla. That's going to be big. You could see before we got to that replay that Rekkles was starting to build up a bit of a CS lead on the bottom side. Now that the Tristana gets to a little bit of a free pickaxe there, things might be a little bit more difficult.
And I think Rekkles farming up is always a good thing. I think the thing that Rekkles has been struggling with is actually being part of a lot of plays, as we see. A bit of trading in mid. Caps might be looking for it, no. But anyway, just going back to the point, look at his CS per minute, almost 11. He's farming up a lot. I think he has one of the best CS numbers in the entire league, but just his KDA hasn't died once, has very, very low kill participation, very, very low damage dealt. And yes, G2's losing the game, so what can the AD carry really do? But when you're playing things like Tristana, Kai'Sa, being proactive is what you want to look for, whereas Rekkles is just trying to be like a reliable rock for G2, it feels like.
And again, those stats are from week 4, but in G2's week, he was relatively quiet overall. And I think that's one of the big questions on a lot of fans' minds, and the question I would love to pose to the audience, which is simply, is Rekkles doing enough for G2? He's always been looked at as a player who's Mr. Consistent, who can be a rock for the teams that he's been on. He's certainly had moments where he has been the big carry and moments where he's taken the back seat in the form of the Garen Yuumi. The question to you, G2 fans or otherwise, is Rekkles doing enough for this G2 lineup in these big games?
And just in terms of context, just giving me those stats and showing me the CS numbers and the low damage, well, I would assume maybe he's playing things like Jinx, you know, or some kind of hyper carry scalers who just want to farm up. But no, he's playing things like Tristana and Kai'Sa, which kind of want to be proactive, and G2 as a team isn't really being that proactive, especially in week 4. Just referring to it, not too much happening, and maybe Rekkles could try and push those advantages more. Really good lane phase, really good CS per minute, just committing to those fights perhaps alongside Mikyx, going for those kind of risky plays in a sense.
And we'll see how that pans out today. For now, Mikyx leaving him on his lonesome and just continuing to pitch for these plays. That's going to be the knockback. Of course, Kang used the W to just zoom out to safety. Trying to wait back on the double dash. 2 TPs used into the mid lane. WhiteKnight in the area, but Wunder's going to be here as well. Can't fully commit. Wunder debating if he can step back for the passive. Zanzarah not level 6 yet. Will not commit to the play.
Yeah, just TP's used. They're just going to both walk back towards top lane. The second one TPs, the other is forced to TP because there's a numbers disadvantage on whoever doesn't arrive. So both TPs used because there's such a big play happening. And it's quite split across the board. As Wunder is actually sticking around. His top wave's in a good state. If you look at the minimap, there's more blue creeps and red creeps. So maybe he thinks his top wave's fine. He can afford to waste more time here. As Astralis are on Herald right now.
Thank you, observers, for the highlight there. Herald will get taken down, and not surprised to see it be a contested vote. I think when you think about why G2 is struggling, there's so many different interpretations. Obviously, one of the most popular teams in Europe, and fans going to have a lot of different opinions as to what is going wrong here. Is Wunder pushing forward.
Oh yeah, he is.
Wants to make use, but it's Jankos really the player that you need to watch. He's going to be the big source of damage. Maybe he can finish off Zanzarah here. WhiteKnight on the way, however. Mikyx ready to go in. Can block a lot of those dashes. Hex Flash coming in clutch. Kick available. They're waiting it out, but clean play from Jankos. Holds on, waits for the stun to come out. Zanzarah incredibly low. G2, I think, can back off on this one, but the Herald's already been taken, so not a whole lot for them to grab here.
Yeah, well, G2 are kind of fishing for something there. Mikyx still level 4, surprisingly, and promisq was level 5, so no ultimates to work with, so couldn't get a lot of the damage. And interesting to note, promisq picked up the Herald actually, so that's going to hurt Astralis a little bit in terms of gold share. But now G2 looking for more dives, it seems. Maybe they want to look for WhiteKnight. Zanzarah and promisq are base and move towards the bot side of the map. WhiteKnight reads the play, it looks like. Even without wards, he kind of knows what's happening. Needs to make sure he backs off here. If he shows, they might go for it.
Mikyx still, no, he's going to stay. Hex Flash is going to be up and available. Actually, normal Flash is up and available. He can just go in, stop any potential dash out. No, unstoppable for a brief moment on the Heartbreaker, but Wunder going to grab the kill. Well played by the side of G2.
Yeah, big top wave stacked up, and WhiteKnight has no TP. They knew the jungle supported base because Zanzarah was so low HP and they forced his flash. So why not stay around? Make sure that WhiteKnight's zoned away from this top wave because we're not going to get to bot lane in time anyway. We'll see if Astralis can respond, move towards his bot side and place the Herald. You can see WhiteKnight's gonna respawn soon, doesn't have the TP, but MagiFelix is hovering around the bot side of mid. He might find Caps here. Caps obviously going towards blue. And now Astralis, despite losing on this top play, they have bot side control. All depends on what they can do with it. As Rekkles took away the blue buff. I think he kited it too far and then realized he kited it too far and just took it away because he was gonna reset from the patience because he wanted to get back to bot wave. So he wanted to position himself in a way where he could get back to bot wave fast enough, but also leave blue on a reasonable HP for Caps to finish it.
And surely, small mistake there. Ultimately, going to be a little bit difficult for Caps here in the mid lane, as he is a champion that's much more, well, is reliant on mana, as opposed to Renekton being only reliant on the Rage.
Also good on the Varus. I mean, it's a poke Varus, so having that extra mana is always good to just keep dishing out the Qs.
And also, importantly, to be able to push the wave away from the Taric, who has the Rift Herald right now. And obviously that is going to be a problem, as mentioned. Yes, Astralis maybe not happy with where the gold is going to go when that one does crash in. Taric not always where you want that gold to be placed, but can be happy about the bot side pressure. Jankos here to respond, though. They're ready. G2 got their play down top side, got their gank, but are now in position to stop Astralis from making a counter play. Yeah,
Astralis had a window of 1 to 2 waves where MagiFelix had to push and they had full bot side control, but Jankos doesn't have flash, but he has a ward jump. If he can Q ward jump, he should be able to get a kick, but then the Taric ultimate comes down, Zanzarah's there. Little does he know that Zanzarah's base. I don't even know if Astralis know that Jankos is here. A bit of a mind game going on. Caps has TP and MagiFelix is coming up soon.
Mikyx has flash as well, so there's a world where even an input buffer from Tristana cannot save Jeskla.
No cleanse as well, so if Rekkles can land the ultimate, Jankos can look for the kick. He's using a lot of time here, and he's eventually just going to show. That's a lot of time wasted, and I think the reason he's doing that is because the enemy team has Herald, and Taric has it, so it has to be used on bot tower. Bot tower has 3 plates, so it's good time well spent. Help them push out the wave, get the dragon, keep bot side control to stop Astralis getting a very valuable Herald.
And again, there's only 1 kill difference between these teams, but it is a 1.5k gold lead for the side of G2. Now a Drake as well. They are steadily putting themselves further and further ahead in this game. And while, yes, Jeskla got 2 kills, look at the CS discrepancy. Bot lane, Rekkles, farming well, pushing out well, really monstering out here individually in this matchup. As now MagiFelix is going to be in trouble. Zanzarah ready to go over the wall. That's going to be big damage coming in. The Gwen might not be tanky enough to survive that one. Caps running for the hills. The shield, dashing, dipping, ducking, diving, burning, ticking, but he will not drop. Zanzarah going to finish it up with the dash away, and MagiFelix walks away empty-handed.
Oh, Zanzarah did a lot of damage in that 2v2, but Caps was healing through the majority of it. The shield saves him, and he gets away. MagiFelix didn't have any more dashes or flashes to catch up to him, so G2 barely managed to win out that mid 2v2, but now trading in bot. promisq hits the stun, but Jeskla can't commit, he can't jump in. Rekkles level 9, but there's the Herald used. They have a wave now, they should be able to crash it. The question is, can they get the tower? I think it's going to be a bit difficult for them. Wait, can Mikyx going to be able to knock it away? That buys him a bit of time, but I don't think it helps. Now there's a wave. There's a chance they can kill it. When the Herald auto attacks, you might be able to hit the eye.
It's...
I don't think they can do it.
Oh wait, it's hitting the wave? Oh, it's out of tower range.
Yeah, it's out of tower range, so it's going to hit the wave, and then you can hit it. Right there, you could hit it, but Rekkles is not in range, so it should crash.
Yeah.
Very intense moment. Funny moment. But there it goes.
We get knifed over the kills? Yeah, kills are alright. The Rift Herald maybe not charging? My god! No one's ever seen it happen before.
Yeah, so let's look at this again. I mean, the Ignite's helping G2 out a lot in this fight. Caps gets the second ultimate off. The big damage from Zanzarah, but Caps with the Q, with the ultimate, with the shield, has enough lifesteal and health to get away. MagiFelix no more dashes left. Jankos, yes, he does miss the Q, but he has the ward jump to make up for it. You can see Wunder's already moving down with the top push, and the 2v2 goes into G2's favor.
And crucially, the kick back from Jankos really what keeping Caps alive for so long, stopping the potential fallout from MagiFelix. Full rage there at the end of that fight. Certainly would have loved to just use 1, 2 more abilities onto Caps to just finish the job. As he continues to fall a little bit further behind in this one, forced to itemize early grievous wounds just to deal with the insane healing.
Jankos has kick. MagiFelix doesn't have ult yet, and he has no flash.
Dash out to safety. Zanzarah in the area. Dash back in. Mikyx gonna stop that one for now. promisq goes a bit wide there on the stun from the Taric, and G2 are gonna walk away.
Yeah, I think did MagiFelix dash Mikyx dash there, or did Mikyx dash creep? I didn't actually catch it just in time, but the stun didn't land anyway, and the kick was used to just disengage. Now it's a 3v3. Mikyx flashing in.
Going into the wall. Mikyx potentially gonna get burned down here. It's the TP being used. Caps and Jankos just on the retreat. Mikyx has to run. He's gonna drop a ward in the meantime, but he's just gonna get picked off there, not respecting the TP.
Yeah, and the Herald's coming up soon. Caps instantly TPing bot side. He knows that all of the members of Astralis are on towards his top side because of the TP, because Tristana's showing on top wave. 3 men fighting Mikyx. Maybe they can get something out of this.
Rekkles the follow-up. The ulti goes a little bit wide. WhiteKnight now making it out to safety.
Smart play by Caps. He's trying to cross-map. He knows they're going to lose out on the top side. He knows he has no job on the top side because Rekkles is catching mid-waves. So I'll TP bot. I'll push in bot. I'll get bot tier 1 for Astralis getting the pick and getting top tier 1. Really intelligent play there to look for it. But Mikyx, questionable decision to flash in. Yes, he got the TP out and he forced... well, nothing else really, just a TP. No ultimates were even used, and he died for it. But anyway, looks like G2 still lose out on the play. They lose a kill, they lose a Herald, they lose first tower, and it doesn't even look like they're able to get bot tier 1, but now 3 members strong.
Fully committed. MagiFelix incredibly low. Dominus not available yet. He just gets cut down. Wunder comes in to clean up the job, and that's going to be the tower taken out.
Yeah, they get themselves a kill back, but in the end, it's a net positive for Astralis because they got the second Herald as well, which should crack open mid lane tower, and bot tier 1 is very low. So a lot of trading going on in terms of kills and objectives. Astralis slightly ahead, but G2 is still ahead in the game itself.
And again, the gold staying at about that 1.5k difference. Is Mikyx again getting caught out here, going to fish for the knockback, but Zanzarah doing big damage already.
Mikyx really underleveled, overextending for vision when his team's not even on the same side of the map as he is. So 2 blunders in a row there, and now Astralis should have mid push. Zanzarah has the Herald if he fancies it. 8 seconds on Mikyx. They have a numbers advantage in time because Caps is on top wave without TP. We'll see if they decide to use it. Wunder's just trying to clear out these mid waves, but G2 still ahead in gold from the CS numbers alone.
Yep. Again, you talked about the second Herald, something we have to track. Zanzarah finally the one to get it. That will not be promisq this time around, and see where they want to use it. Protobelt now finished. Mythic items coming in just across the board for the vast majority of the members on the team. Only MagiFelix really put at a pretty big deficit here. Part of that is just the 800 gold he has to spend on Grievous Wounds, but he's also obviously getting a lot of pressure from the side of G2.
Is this Zanzarah's first game on the LEC stage? I want to say it is. Because
is this Zanzarah's first game
all
on
of
the
spring,
LEC stage?
It wasn't on stage.
You're right.
And he didn't make the playoffs, so I think this is his first game on the LEC stage.
That's a good point.
100% KP, doing a good job so far.
I could talk back and pretend like I'm big brain, but Marcus, as our resident stats guy, Marcus is our stats guy, for anyone who doesn't know, at LOL Esports Stats, if you want to talk to Marcus. Marcus, is this Zanzarah's first stage game? I could pretend that I'm the big brain genius and figure it out, but Marcus deserves the credit.
Because I think he's the only player, I believe. I'll stand to be corrected. But anyway, G2 setting up around this second dragon. MagiFelix is in the top side. Does he have TP up? I think he does, so he should be able to join if Astralis want to look for the fight. But they're just going to Herald mid anyway. They know G2 is committed towards the bot side. They don't have vision, and they're just going to try to trade. Oh. Actually, I think they probably could have got more value there if they Herald the top tier 2, and they just moved up for it. Anyway, looks like it's just going to crash and get the tower to half HP, and that's going to be the trade-off.
Marcus has informed me that that is not a stats question. That is not a stats-related thing. Gauntlet 2019 with Origin when he subbed in Caedrel.
Oh, yeah.
You forgot.
Well, I was wrong. I was wrong.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Evan. Our wonderful behind-the-scenes production teams. The only reason that we ever look intelligent on broadcast.
So I think if you're looking at this game, there's a lot of trade-offs. There's top tier 1s for bot tier 1s. There's mid towers for Heralds and Drakes, you know, chunks and stuff like this. But the key thing is here is G2's up in CS on AD carry, on mid, and on top. So they're just kind of out-farming Astralis at the moment. Astralis kind of overcommitting with numbers and losing their lanes in general because of the amount of, you know, pressure being put on them. Caps getting the amount of dives that he got from his jungle support. Wunder kind of pushing in top all game, and Rekkles getting a lot of free time on bot because Astralis' bot lane has to move mid. So they're ahead in just raw CS right now. And I think the big thing we're looking at here is the 2 items, the third dragon for G2. That's where Astralis want to fight. But this top tier 1 is G2's objective for now.
And it's important to remember, I think, when we look at these compositions, I look back to the last time that Rekkles was really able to find success on this lethality Varus, and it was a relatively quiet game for the vast majority of it. Finds the Prowler's Claw active onto a minion, finds the ult, but again, lethality Varus, you find 1 or 2 Qs in the mid to late game, that is enough to win a fight for your team, especially when you have a Mundo, a Gwen, a Lee Sin, these champions who can make good on the 50% health you're able to take away from Jeskla, because Jeskla 201, he's doing okay. Yes, he's behind in CS, but he's very, very close to that Phantom Dancer. That said, you tank a single arrow, fights get very hard very fast.
Yeah, they're slightly even. Rekkles up in XP and creeps, of course, but Jeskla has 2 kills to keep himself in it. I think the biggest discrepancy right now is mid lane. You know, Caps a lot stronger than MagiFelix is. He hasn't even completed his mythic item yet. He's down a level. He loses out on side lane. And having a Renekton that's behind in the first 20 minutes of the game is never a good thing because his scaling is pretty poor. But still, will do a lot of damage if he can get on top of Rekkles, but we'll have to see if he can. It's a lot of dive on Astralis. Taric ultimate should buy time as well. So you're looking at the dive of Astralis and Rekkles keeping at range, poking them out, and Caps, Jankos, and Wunder taking the brunt of the brawl, we'll say, because they're getting involved. They're all melee champions.
And Rekkles going to secure mid lane priority here. Astralis are backing, so potential that they do give up their mid lane tower. That said, G2 do not want to overcommit, do not want to overextend. It's still 2 minutes to the Drake. And important to remember the stakes in this game. Both these teams at 4 and 5, currently tied for 5th. Losing will fall, that knock them down with Excel and Vitality, a tie for 6th at the end of this one. And of course, winning could get them 1 step closer to contesting the top 4. For Astralis, already a way better season than the previous one.
Yeah.
And winning, getting the playoffs is a big deal. For G2, expectations are eternally sky high. And losing here, losing to Astralis would be yet another disappointment in a very difficult split.
Yeah, Astralis much better than the last split. You know, they're actually fighting in the middle of the pack of the LEC. And they're doing pretty well around. Yes, their early game stats have been quite poor, as we highlighted earlier, but they're finding wins, and the Nexus is all that matters. And now MagiFelix has actually completed that mythic item, has the Strike Breaker, 2 minutes on the Mountain Dragon, and that's the third dragon for G2. That's their soul point. And they lost last time. They had a soul and a gold lead, but this time around, I think they'll be a lot more cautious, and they'll make sure they don't drop the ball again. 2 minutes is what we're looking at. We're looking at setup, looking at G2 pushing in mid wave, pushing in top wave, keeping the control of the map. Wunder has TP ready, and Astralis want to make sure they can answer. They don't want to give away this third dragon.
And obviously one of the big deals for Astralis is that Taric setup and fights. We saw it in the Fnatic G2 game. If you can find a setup with these champions where they are able to get to the backline with that Taric ult on top of them, there's not really a lot of counterplays. MagiFelix is fishing for the play here. Zanzarah in the area.
Yeah, the Taric ult will be massive. We talked about how many melee champions are in the game. And one Taric ult can negate basically all of G2's burst. We'll see if they can do it, but Astralis are going to finally be able to pick up this mid tier 1. The second Herald was used to chunk it out. Jeskla can obviously finish that off pretty easily. Astralis controlling mid, controlling bots right now. Whereas G2 have some kind of top control because Wunder can push this in, he has TP to join the team whenever, and Astralis will have to answer eventually. And when they do, that's when G2 can start to push in mid and retake control.
Just a back and forth, a game of turns really at this stage, till someone wants to try to break it or play against the tempo of the map. That said, 50 seconds now on the Mountain Drake, potentially the focus for either side. You can see Mikyx overstaying his welcome in the mid lane there. Jeskla getting a little bit of poke will make it easier for the team to invest vision. That said, Zanzarah and WhiteKnight waiting in the darkness. Caps potentially in trouble. Blast Cone in the area. Jankos can commit for this one. WhiteKnight forced to flash out to safety. TP's coming in. A fight is brewing, but Astralis are on the run. They do not want this one.
Yeah, no flash, no ultimate on the Viego. That's going to hurt them a lot coming into this fight. I think Astralis tried to catch out Mikyx there because he was slightly mispositioned. He got chunked out a lot and had no W. Zanzarah tried to find him, but Caps arrives in time. You can see the strength of this Gwen, zoning them away 1v2 almost. Now G2 are the ones with full control. They should be able to start up this dragon. Mikyx basing, I think he can't. He should stay around here. 10 seconds left. I mean, he's basing on a pink ward, but still he stays. If you base on a pink ward, obviously Astralis don't know that he's in base, and they probably can't contest this anyway, looking at the health bars. The fact that WhiteKnight had to base, now promisq does as well. This should be pretty free, but now Astralis are forced to fight this Mountain Soul Dragon in around 5 minutes time.
It's all about trying to get the setup first in that case. Again, looking towards the Taric ultimate to buy them so much more effective time to dive into the backline, but that's going to be big on execution. Eyes on promisq to make that work and the team to follow up. Astralis slowly falling behind in this one again. Every time I look at the gold, it's like 1,500, maybe a little bit more. In this case, exactly 1,500, so that's perfect. Jankos going to grab the Drake, though, and sole point here, Mountain Drake against a lot of these champions that want to burst down a single character against the Viego who wants to get resets is going to be a big boon for the side of G2. It's Caps fiercely going forward onto WhiteKnight here. Big damage coming in! Gwen!
Oh my god, WhiteKnight didn't have ult or flash to get away. Caps just one-shots him with 2 items. Now he's level 15 at 22 minutes. I thought seeing as all tier 1s were down, there wouldn't be too much fighting, but he just dives it. Wait, Mikyx W, the blast cone!
Blast cone, now the instant follow-up. G2, just like that, swing the gold even further in their favor. What will they do with this advantage?
Mikyx and blast cones, man. That's the same place that he put the ward on Bart to stop the blast cone last time. Now he stops him with a Poppy W and gets a pick for G2. 2 kills all of a sudden for G2, and now they can start to move forwards into the enemy jungle. They should be able to get control. Caps is level 15 on this Gwen. No one on Astralis can match him on the sideline. I think even if WhiteKnight and MagiFelix group up and try to 2v1 him, I think he might even win.
We do know the power of Gwen has not been nerfed. So,
my god.
See what else Caps can do, especially once he has level 3 and the ultimate.
It's the haircut. He's unleashed.
It must be.
It must be.
It must be.
Let's watch that again. Let's see how much damage he has. He knows that WhiteKnight has no flash and ult. He has 2 items. He's level 14. It's the burst here with the ultimate in the queue. Oh my god, man. It's oh, what is that?
Snippety, snippety, snip.
And then Mikyx with the W on the blast cone. Same blast cone, same area. Manages to W him just he tries to get away. And then he ease him into the wall to make it even worse. And then as promisq flashes, Jankos has already hit Q. So he dies anyway. G2 full control of this game now.
Zanzarah, though, trying to turn it back. Caps now could be in trouble. He said he could 2v1, but can he 3v1? For now, the answer is yes. Yes, yes, he can.
Jankos was behind him, and Astralis didn't have much vision. So they're just going to opt out of that one. He's popped ultimate. We'll back off. That's enough. Ultimate for ultimate trade, but now G2 have a wave in mid. Astralis, not that much wave clear. Very short-range champions and 4 melee champions as well. So Jeskla's going to be the one to walk up. He does in the end. And the problem with Jeskla walking up is he has no cleanse. So 1 Varus ultimate, it's quite hard for him to walk up and clear these waves.
When it's really, really hard to kill this one, to kill Mundo right now.
And Gwen.
And Gwen. Well, the... Can you pronounce the item? I always miss it.
So it's Anathema's chains.
Anathema's, thank you. I butcher this every time.
I said Anathemas a few times, yeah. But it's Anathema's.
Anathema's chains. For Wunder, this is a great situation because he just puts it on Diana, then builds full armor for the rest of the game, and is unkillable.
MagiFelix is trying to go for the 1v1 here. I think Caps, the reason he's running away is because all of Astralis moving down river, but
he doesn't need to run away.
Caps has ultimate in 1 second. If MagiFelix is not careful here, he's going to get one shot.
Dominus coming out. Caps, he's got 2 stacks on the snip, dash forward, skip and slash. Zanzarah can try to commit, but this is, again, very difficult. promisq can keep them alive, but he can't stop the Gwen healing.
Yeah, Caps is a monster right now. Almost halfway to level 16, 2 minutes on the Dragon. If he's a level 16 Gwen with 3 items before this Dragon spawns, I think that's just lights out for Astralis. He might find MagiFelix here. He has Flash, but
step forward.
Can he get away?
Slash.
Cosmic Drive.
So the cooldown is slightly lower. Now it just keeps to go forward. Just kind of trying to burn through and forcing the flash out. Now there's a TP going down. They're ready to burn everything. Mikyx can come in, though, can block any potential follow-up, has the ulti as well. Skip and slash over the wall. That's a free TP. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, there's a Mundo, and there's a Lee Sin, and they're free hitting that tower.
That's going to be a free top tier 2. Caps is 1v5, and they're trying to TP and get onto him. But even without flash, he's too mobile with the boots, with the Cosmic Drive. He's just running around the map, doing whatever he pleases. Mundo normally does that, but Caps is doing it this time.
It's a hair diff. This is what honestly, this is the performance that G2 fans have probably been waiting for. Yes, there have been some solid moments from Caps this split, but this kind of performance where he draws so much attention, where he is single-handedly building these massive advantages for G2, not just for himself in these 1v1s, but for the other members of his team on the other side of the map, is good for G2. This is the Caps people were waiting for.
Yeah, it's been lots of G2 in the last 5 minutes, but let's look at Astralis. Jeskla, 3 items completed. Zanzarah, 2 items completed. Most gold in the game for Jeskla. More than Wunder, more than Caps, more than Rekkles. So if he can free hit in these fights with those 3 items, he should shred through this front line of G2. He has a Taric ultimate behind him. He has a lot of divers to buy him time. Eyes on Jeskla.
And the combination of a Kraken Slayer, of a Lord Dominix, of cut down as well, assuming he took it in the rune tree. It doesn't. He has resolve this time.
So
there you go. No cut down. Sad for the extra damage.
But still, 50 seconds on Dragon, 3 items Tristana. There's a world where Astralis can still win a fight.
It is only a 4K gold lead. Caps is scary. Can the rest of the G2 make good? Jankos pulling back, they're just getting poke here and there. Caps going forward, Mikyx fully committing for the jungler, they're trying to burst him down, but he goes gold and promisq, keeping the entire team healthy, but it's a defensive Taric ult. MagiFelix in the midst of the team, he's not invulnerable! He's got a target on his back, G2 looking for the follow-up. It's a kick into the backside from promisq, Mikyx trying to buy as much space as possible. Caps interrupting dashes left and right, but Caps is down. Jankos, Rekkles, they need to run. WhiteKnight has already taken away Caps' form. He is now the fed Gwen, but Astralis still backing away because Wunder might just be unkillable.
It's a 3v3. Jeskla has a lot of damage, but G2 have a lot of poke.
Jeskla, the one that you need to watch. If the Tristana lives, if the Tristana can get something done, it's going to be big. WhiteKnight now running for the hills. Jankos going over the wall. The Lee Sin is massive. Rekkles from downtown. Big arrows coming in. Arrows finding kills. G2 taking the fight. They take out Jeskla. WhiteKnight steals the form, but it's not enough. Wunder and Rekkles versus the world. They find the triple for Rekkles. They can turn to the soul.
That's going to be soul. You're completely right. Jeskla was free hitting Wunder there, but they don't have any healing reduction. When second MagiFelix dies, there's no healing reduction on Astralis, so Wunder just out-heals all the damage, just keeps running forwards, tanks all the autos, and Jankos and Rekkles do the rest. G2 win the 3v3, they win the fight, and they get themselves a Mountain Soul. They won't be able to Baron, I think. They don't have the damage, they don't have the consistent damage, and Jankos is dead, but that's big.
That is absolutely massive. And Astralis, while they would love to get an Infinity Edge now on Jeskla, they might not have the time.
Look at Mikyx. He clutches the fight here for G2. Flash stuns to get the engage, but watch his ultimate. Knocks away Jeskla, of all people, the second the fight starts, so he can't even hit at the start. Yes, they do end up trading Mikyx for MagiFelix, and it turns into an instant 4v4. Caps gets picked off as well. The stun from WhiteKnight turning into Mikyx. So the Poppy's everywhere, just carrying this fight. And then the second the 3v3 comes, just watch Wunder.Jeskla's free hitting him. He's kiting back. There's no CC on Jeskla. He's just free hitting Wunder, but he just doesn't die.
He doesn't take any damage either. You can see how much he just doesn't take any damage.
Heals through all of it. No healing reduction. Out heals the autos. Jeskla has to run, but G2 can chase.
Jankos obviously fighting out here. Does ultimately get taken down, but it takes everything that Astralis have to finish off Jankos. Makes it very easy for Rekkles to come in to finish the fight. Maximum use of the Varus passive for the extra attack speed. And Wunder. That's kind of the fight in a nutshell. Hands off the keyboard. Right click the champion.
Second most damage.
Mundo goes to work, baby.
Oh, he certainly does. And now G2 should have push in bot. Caps wins out on this. Don't dive him again.
I was going to say, I think we've seen this one before. Okay, Astralis, if they can find the pick on Caps, it might take 4 members, but if they can do this, it might get time. That said, it might cost them the Baron. They need to get this pick as quickly as possible. They all leap into the Shroud immediately. Caps still almost killing Jeskla just with the needles. He's trying to finish it. He goes gold and he buys more time. Again, G2 are on the Baron now.
Almost one-shot Jeskla. If he took him down, there's a world where I don't know, he maybe could have gotten more, but anyway, it takes 5 members to kill Caps, but that's 4 members of G2 on towards the top side. WhiteKnight has TP, Jeskla's in base. I don't think they're going to be able to get here in time.
5k getting lower.
Maybe they're just going to trade it off. Mikyx probably going to be able to ult them away. There is a TP coming in, so they're opting into the 5v4, but Jeskla's really far away.
WhiteKnight rooted up. The rest of the team now on the retreat. Mikyx holding onto his ult for now. WhiteKnight in the darkness. Mikyx ready to block the dash, and he does so. Aftershock procced, they are going to retreat. So G2 overall, yes, they give up caps. Yes, Astralis are happy with the pick, but it costs them the Baron.
A lot of disengage from the Poppy. That's so big for G2. You know, you can commit to this 4-man Baron. The second Astralis even try to contest, you can stop all the dashes on the engage, and you can knock them away. So Baron for caps trade. But let's just go back to the Mountain Soul. A Mountain Soul on Mundo.
Yeah.
That's just even worse, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's only one healing reduction item on Astralis still, and it's MagiFelix. They need to buy more.
Even without the healing, just the tanky stats from Mountain alone make him pretty impossible to kill.
Oh yeah, but Elder Dragon up in 3 minutes. Can G2 conquer their demons? They have the Dragon Soul.
Did you really just say, can G2 conquer their demons?
Their demon. The soul. The dragon.
Oh my god.
You know?
You're so edgy.
It's a good one, right? It's a good one.
All right. This is a big game, and again, we talked about the stakes, and for G2, just closing out cleanly at this point would be a positive step as it kind of faltered against them in the Misfits game. That said, Mundo now going to be in trouble, slowly but surely getting booed down. Healing reduction is here. MagiFelix is in the area. Wunder going to be then. Knockback there.
Does he die?
Viego. No.
No, he doesn't.
Healing. Ulti 147 per second. That's a hard number to match.
He should be full HP. His ultimate's pretty low cooldown as well. Like we just talked about, MagiFelix is the only one with healing reduction. Now Wunder has the mountain. Look at that burst!
Big arrow, big arrow, big arrow! Oh! Rekkles unstoppable. From a mile away, he finds that one. Zanzarah ulting, but cannot find a dash to the backside. Jankos fully committing. Unconcerned, the flash, the W back to safety. Jankos now getting taken down. That's going to be the reset for WhiteKnight when he gets to the fight. He goes wide on the kick. WhiteKnight leads in indeed. Will not have it for too long. Wunder on the backside. That is your raid boss. WhiteKnight in the midst of the entire team will get dropped as the GA. Does he have the reset on the ulti? Does not look like it. Does just get taken out. And G2 now ready to barrel down mid lane.
Yeah, 3 members of Astralis alive. It's a 4v3. G2 have around 10 seconds to work with before promisq's ult is up when he is. But Zanzarah's going to die here.
Forward. Zanzarah with Red Smite. Not enough to battle the Gwen.
That might be it. I think G2 have Baron for 40 seconds. There's a mid wave coming in. There's a top wave. 40 seconds on Zanzarah. 30 seconds on WhiteKnight. 3 lanes pushing in. G2 could look for an end or they could look for 3 inhibitors here. Maybe Astralis just want to commit on Wunder.
Jeskla stepping forward. The stun goes wide. Wunder still has not burned his passive quite yet. They're not going to be able to burn it. They finally knock it off. He picks it up again. He heals again. That's the ultimate. The flash out to safety. The rest of the team is just ending the game. Again, Astralis committing everything they have for a single pick.
Wunder can TP back on full HP. Here he comes.
Wunder on the way. G2 going to find the win. Going to move up. Looking to contest the top of the table. Astralis now tied for 6th.
And that's going to be that. G2 tried to find some kills, but there it is. G2 ending the game cleanly. Wunder was just absolutely unkillable. Only WhiteKnight had healing reduction. And they broke the lose streak. They're not going to lose 5 games in a row.
Yeah, let that be a lesson to you. Nobody beats G2 5 times in a row.
Just takes 1 haircut.
Sometimes that's the diff. Ultimately, a positive step, you have to say, for the side of G2. Beating Astralis, historically, not always the biggest moment for a lot of teams. When you're neck and neck, every one of those wins is going to matter. For the side of Astralis, certainly some redeeming moments in the game, but G2 overall, Caps, a monster on the sideline. Wunder, a similar story. The rest of the team filling their roles out nicely.
Wunder likes to raid in WoW, but he was the raid boss this time, wasn't he?
He is. Yeah,
he was
perpetually when he plays the Mundo. Credit to him. That's a scary Mundo. I don't know what goes into that champion mechanically. I haven't played him since the rework, but Wunder's good at it is what I'll say, and you can vote for him if you like him. Key a player of the game at LEC on Twitter. Wunder, Caps, and Rekkles.
Yeah, Rekkles, lots of damage this game with the poke, cleaning up in fights. Right place at the right time a lot of the time. Wunder just unkillable, and Caps just being a monster on the side lane. Takes 5 people to kill him.
Yeah. Big performances across the board. G2, you don't want to say they're back, but you do have to say it is a good look to see them stepping up. See how they fare tomorrow. Big, big game.
Huge.
Massive going up against Rogue. And again, the history there is not favored toward Rogue whatsoever, but the recent form certainly is. We'll see if they can match that tomorrow. And we're soon going to hear from Caps before Mickey joins us in the LEC postgame lobby. Don't go anywhere.
I'll point because he pointed. I'll point again because he pointed. Okay, I'll do it again.
systems are overloading. We can't risk another game.
We need to take a break and regroup.
We're starting to lose our mind. Captain, we cannot go back to Elo Hell. Last time it took us months to get out of it.
Initiate break protocol.
Hurry up! Yes! Yes! I did it! We did it! We did it!
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
G2 Esports finally break their 4-match losing streak by defeating Astralis, and I am joined by Caps with a new hairstyle. Welcome back to the LEC studio. Okay, Caps, I do need to ask because I'm personally very, very curious. Is there any particular story behind the aesthetical change?
I mean, not really so much of a story. It's just like we were losing a lot of games and just felt like something had to change. So I guess the hair was it this time. It also has like some added benefits. I was actually cutting myself, most of it with like a scissor, which obviously helps when you're going on stage playing Gwen, that you're more comfortable around with the scissors. But other than that, I think just like getting some changes around.
Yeah, maybe the change did help. Maybe it was like the whole Saitama buff because you have performed amazingly on Gwen, have won the Kia player of the game. Can you tell me more about the mid lane Gwen pick? Because I do realize that you're the only LEC mid laner who has been playing Gwen so far.
Yeah, I mean, Gwen is one of the new champs, and going into like this season, I really want to play Gwen and Viego because new champs are always a lot of fun. Now, obviously, unfortunately, we lost with both of them, so that was like not the best. But getting a win now with Gwen is really nice, and I've been spamming them in solo queue. Usually, yeah, I mean, new champs are just always fun, and they're also usually pretty strong. And I'm just happy that we can finally find success with it, even if it took half the split.
You did kind of semi-joke about the whole scissors and needing a new change with your hairstyle, but did you or the G2 players really feel like, hey, today is the day, today is the day we bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been feeling that the whole week. I mean, going 0-4 is not something we were expecting going into this like whole season or the split. So I think once we went 0-4, we realized that like we really have to step it up because we are like at the risk of missing out on playoffs or missing out on like the higher seeds, which are really strong for playoffs. So we really gave 100%, and I'm really happy with everyone's effort throughout the week. I think we really came together to like try and bounce back.
It does sound like the team morale was quite strong even during the losing streak, but what are some of the specific areas that G2 tried to improve on during the last 2 weeks?
So I think going into the summer split, like the game was very weird. Like there was a lot of new mid lane champions, as I mentioned, but there's also just like a bunch of like flex picks, like a lot of people playing like the Lee Sin, a lot of like Renekton flex going around, and a bunch of other champs like that. So the draft was definitely like something we had to figure out what we want to draft for ourselves. And we were trying out a bunch of all the meta things, and I think now we kind of settled down to something that we really like and something we feel very comfortable with. And it really showed in our practice, and it really it showed today in our stage game as well. And hopefully we can show up even better tomorrow against Rogue.
And do you feel like some of the LEC matches coming back on the venue will also help the G2 players? Because a lot of G2 players say they feel more natural or more confident playing on stage.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I think going back to stage is nice. It's always a bit weird playing online, and it adds a lot more hype when you actually have to go to the studio. Sadly, we don't have fans yet, and I think that's like the biggest part of playing on stage, right? Is like for sure the fans, because just hearing people cheer gives you like that kind of boost and energy, especially when it's like the 10,000 people cheering in a stadium. But already now, even if there's no fans, it also adds like a kind of like a hype, because you kind of get in the zone or like in the mood when you go to a car, like you drive to the studio, you sit around watching like the game before, where normally it's just like suddenly we're just playing, it's nothing really changes because we're just at home. So definitely I like the travel, I guess, and like the preparation mentally.
If you had to specifically put it into numbers, just how much of a boost or a hype does playing on stage? Because some players tell me that it doesn't make that much difference. Some players actually say they get more nerves on stage, players like you say, hey, actually, it's a very positive effect.
I mean, it's for sure hard to put numbers on it. I think, it's hard to put numbers on it. I think for me, the biggest thing has always been when it's like the huge stadiums, right? But for sure, going back to the studio right now is really nice because it's a stage we're also comfortable with. Like all of our players are veterans at this point, and we've played for many years. So for sure, playing in the studio is something that we enjoy a lot.
And perhaps the stage buff and the momentum will help G2 in the next match.
For sure, yeah.
Because that's my final question. What are your outlook for the next match against Rogue?
I don't think we ever lost a B1 to Rogue, so I don't think it should change right now either. I think we will probably beat them, and we will probably show them that G2 is back.
Love the confidence, and we will look forward to it. Thank you so much for the interview once again, Kevs, and best of luck with the rest of the LEC. And after the break, we'll be back with post-match lobby with Medic, Sharks, and the guest Mikyx. So don't go anywhere.